All right. Hi, guys. Welcome back. We are so excited to be here. Okay, this one, I was excited when Delancey mentioned it because I don't think it's one that we've ever touched on. I know we probably talk about it probably in every single episode of how people talk to us, but I don't think that we've ever actually like sat down and had an actual episode that we've done this. So, what we want to talk about today is we want to talk about verbiage and verbiage in the adoption community and how we know, and Delancey said this before, we get some people say things with curiosity and with love, and some people just say things to be a plain old asshole. So I'm excited
Mhm.
because we're going to go over it and we're going to talk about it, and it's just going to be a really good topic. So, what are some of the things that you want to like touch base on? There's
And,
so many.
and do you know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should say the things that have been said to us and then correct it to where it's the non-invasive
That's good.
way.
That's really good.
I feel like
Okay.
that's a I feel I
Okay.
feel like that's a good
You
way to open it.
you start with one and then I'll go with one. You start. What's one? Can you think off the top of your head?
Um uh, yeah, have you met your real parents?
Yeah, that's oh,
Number one.
oh.
That's I think that's like the number one question we get. Have you met your real parents?
Yes. So, what's a good way to respond to it? Or
Have
ask
you
it, not
met your
respond.
biological family?
Yes.
Have you met
Yes.
the people that created you? I mean, I almost feel like that would be better than saying
Yeah. Ooh, I
real.
actually like that. I really like that. They created
That one
you.
just came to me. Yeah. But I mean, like something, I almost feel like that puts a better, like a more positive placement on it than real, because whenever you say real, you're it's, it's you're invalidating the people that are your adult. I think you
Oh my
froze.
hell,
Did
my
you freeze?
internet. Say that again.
Ah, there
You
you
were
are.
saying, say it again. I apologize. Say that again. I got bits and pieces of it.
You so lovingly. I knew froze like it. Oh, there you go. Which part? I don't know which
Um,
part you heard and which part you didn't hear.
you started to say it and then it completely was like, I'm so sorry. Freaking hell, my internet. I'm so annoyed and the snowing. Oh, and I'm so hoping it's not going to do this. You're starting to freeze again.
I,
Yeah.
I um,
Oh no.
here, let me put pocket down. Pocket. I think honestly, it's if
Okay.
even as an adoptee, if you say I met my real mom, I met my real dad, like that just it's just ouch. Like, I met the people who
Agreed.
created me, I met the people, my biological family. I feel like when you put the emphasis behind it of like I met my biological, now of course you want to do something of your comfort level because it is about you and it is your comfort
Right.
level. But unless you
Right.
know, if you're asking somebody and you don't know their comfort level, don't say, have you met your mom? Have you met your dad? Oh, your mom, your dad? Because I have people do that to me no matter how many times I say
Right.
bio mom, bio dad, like emphasize like bio mom, bio dad.
Yeah.
They will still double down and say, oh, your mom. And it just, at that point, they're doing it just to do it. And they think
Right.
they're being funny and clever, or they think that it's okay because that's just how they want to do it. But it's just disrespectful, in my opinion. So
No,
I think the right way to do it is have you met your biological? I
I
feel like
love
that's the
that.
right way until you
No,
you get their feelings. Okay, you go, your turn.
no, I love that one. My favorite one is probably when people find out I'm adopted, they're like, oh, so you weren't wanted. That's like a huge thing. You weren't wanted. And it's like, that's not really verbiage, but it's like,
Ew.
how would you wouldn't ask
Ew.
that. Yeah, you wouldn't ask that to anybody whose kids who were created by their parents. We'll say that. You wouldn't ask that to just anybody. And so, like, that's the thing that makes me the most sad is people go straight to poor and unwilling and they can't do anything, which some of the cases in adoption, yes, are. But it's like people don't know the
Mm-hmm.
intentions of these birth moms' hearts. Most of
Mm-hmm.
them are doing it to give their child a better life. So to say that I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't wanted, oh no, I was wanted. My parents wanted me. Hell yeah, they
And also
wanted
your
me.
parents chose you. Your parents
Yeah,
picked you. They chose you. Like that. I mean, I
exactly.
feel like that's the highlight of being wanted. They said, yes,
Yes.
this one.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And I do think our stories are both so crazy how we both of us had couples that were set to adopt us before our parents,
Mhm,
which is so crazy. So if you want to go that route,
mhm.
we were doubly wanted. The other people
Yes,
just
we were.
but
Yes,
like
we were.
don't say nobody ever wants to hear you weren't wanted. Just if you hear something like that, like, oh, you're adopted. Oh, well, then tell me your story. Simply say that. Like,
That is
don't be a jackass
such
about
a
it.
good.
You know
That's
what I
so
mean?
better. That's.
Or maybe, well, tell me about your birth mom, because I wouldn't take any
Mhm,
offense to that either. Well, I actually don't know her, but I know these are, if you don't know her,
mhm,
or I did find that these were reasons. You can
mhm,
approach it so much better. Leave it as an open-ended question
mhm.
versus a statement. You weren't wanted. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's my.
that's such. That's so, and also that's also for adoptees. When you say you weren't wanted, that's not true.
Oh,
You were wanted.
no,
If you
no.
weren't wanted, you wouldn't be living and breathing on this earth. Just throwing that
Amen.
out there. Just saying. You
Amen.
would not be, you would not be walking around, on this earth. Even if your life is hard, like you're here. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
You were abandoned.
Oh my gosh, I hate that one. I hate
I
that one so much. I hate that.
mean, that one, like, honestly, almost makes me revert back to my early 20s and like I want to fight.
Yes. No, it's so true though. Like,
Like that makes me want to just like that makes me that gets like it's that's such an immediate like boiling of my blood. Like it's
yeah.
such like and I'm doing a lot of work on that. I'm doing a lot of work to not have that triggered response to abandoned. I feel like I'm doing really well considering how many people on TikTok have told me I've been abandoned. It amazes me how many people have told me I'm abandoned. And I'm like, so weird. I don't feel that way. And it's not
No.
even, and even if it's not like the statement you were abandoned, if it's something like, do you ever feel like you were abandoned or
Yeah.
ever, instead of doing like, in a court of law, lawyers will object and say leading the witness. Don't lead somebody into their feelings if you're not a certified professional, which more than likely you are
Exactly.
not. If you're having those conversations
Ex
with them,
yes.
ask them open-ended questions and listen to understand. Don't listen to
Yes.
respond, because if you are taking the time to say, wow, how do you like what are your feelings like about learning your adoption story or after you've met your biologicals? What are you like? What did you feel? How did you feel? Like, what were your thoughts? What were you
I
going
love
through?
that.
Ask them those questions. Ask them
Yes.
open-ended questions so that they feel secure and safe to
Amen.
share that with you. Now, that being said, if you're just there for the tea, back up and go somewhere else.
Yes, exactly.
Because our adoption stories are not for your gossip columns.
No.
They're just not. And by
No.
gossip columns, you know what I mean? Like your little face, like
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
groups, or like
Yeah.
your little, like I want to
Yeah.
say I know somebody who's the like whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, no, I totally agree. And I love how we're both saying that like it's open-ended questions, like you were saying. It's
Mhm.
open-ended questions to ask people. So, yeah. Okay. Are you done with that one? I don't want to cut you off if
Oh
you're done.
yeah, no, 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 totally done. Finito.
Like one of my all-time favorites is how much were you? How much did you cost? Like I'm some kind of like something to be bought.
Priceless.
And I always think of you with that question whenever I get it because I'm like, I can just hear Delancey right now. Priceless. I am priceless. I love
Priceless. You know what's funny? I've never even asked my parents that question.
how much you
I don't even know
cost.
how much I cost.
I don't even think that's like a question that would even cross my mind to
Oh,
ask. I
like
mean, I know my
it's like
mom.
yeah, me either. Me either. Like that.
Yeah.
Like you ask me right now. I'm like, gosh, I wonder how much like not like me, but like the process.
No, yeah. Well, and I don't know how it came about. My mom was talking to somebody about adoptions through Columbia, and she said one of the reasons they did go is because it was cheaper because they cut out all the middle crap. And so Columbia
Hmm.
very is very invested in just finding this baby a home and covering the medical costs of the mom, which
Hmm.
really lured my parents to that because they're like, that's what it's more about, is like just taking care of the mom and not $50 million later. And so that's really the only reason I kind of know, but it was never something that my mom was like, oh, you cost this much money. Like, okay.
So like I know my mom's one time said like I wasn't cheap, and then I said, ha ha, receipt is, oh, pass the return date, can't do anything about it now, like joke over there. I almost feel like then, like hearing what you're saying and then like different things like that, it's almost like I don't even know if this would be the right way, but I would personally wouldn't take offense if somebody said, what would be the financial process of adoption?
Oh, not at all. Yeah, not at
Or like the
all. I
financial
agree.
commitment of adoption.
Yeah.
But whenever like what you just said, the how much did you oh
Like
precious?
even if you said the word cost still, you could say how much did the adoption process cost? Like I would take no offense to that either
Mhm.
because that's not point like how much did you cost? That's
It's not
just
talking about
how much
you, right?
correct.
It's like,
Correct. Yeah, it's just how
oh,
much,
people
you know,
have
what's the
actually asked you
process?
that?
Yeah. And I'm
Like,
just like,
really?
and sometimes I clap back. I'm like, how much did you cost? Do you know? They're like, well, no. I'm like, yeah, so how the hell am I supposed to know? How much did your parents pay in medical bills for you to go to the hospital and be pushed out of, I'm not even go there, but you know what I
What?
mean. But it's like the same thing. It really is because it costs to have a baby. Like no matter how you do it, it just
Yeah, no,
does,
it's
you
true.
know? So
That's true.
anyway,
There
sorry,
is
I
a
cut you
there's a
off.
financial. No, no, you're fine. I was over giggling. There is a financial investment in a child,
Yeah,
whether
it's
they're
true.
biological or adopted. There's a financial investment. Like,
Correct. And it's not just
there
at
just
birth,
is.
it's for the
There's just
rest
there.
of their lives. You know what I mean? Like once you have a kid, rest of your life you're taking care of that
Hmm.
kid. Obviously, and
Agree.
then they become adults and then they're
Agree.
on their own, but you still do stuff for them. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. My parents will
that's
still help me if I need it.
what I'm saying.
That's
Like,
because they
yeah.
love me. But that's like what I love. Like I can't speak for everybody's parents, but like I was stuck in this whole entire like I'm an adult and I don't need help, blah, blah, blah. And my parents are like, oh my god, shut up. If you need help, just ask. Like quit. Like what is wrong with you? And I'm over
That's
here like
hilarious.
so much, so much. But yeah, no, that ooh, I can't believe people have asked you that.
Yeah, that's a
How
fun one.
much do you cost?
Yeah.
Oh.
What about
Mm.
you?
This is my other one that I love so much because I kind of asked this a lot, surprisingly in the South. What are you?
What are you?
Mhm. What are you? Because they'll see my parents, and then yeah, when I was like, so when I was in obviously when I was in high school and like college, and I'd be tan. Now the smart people, I hate to say it like that, but I'm just gonna say it like that. Like the people who use the people who use deductive reasoning, I'll say that. That just sounds
Love it.
better. With my last name being Italian, they just assumed I was Italian.
Right. Because
They just
honestly,
went with it. 'Cause
I would have thought that. I know that's like me
mhm.
seeing you, but I would have thought that. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, well, no, that and that's true because, like, I mean, like, everything works perfectly. So, like, I think that was just like just part of God's thing for me.
Right.
And the people who realized that my last name is Italian would just assume I was Italian. The people who did not understand that my last name was Italian would see my mom and dad, who my mom has like blondish hair, green eyes, and like not fair skin, but lighter skin than me, obviously. And then my dad has like he's Italian and German, so he has like brown hair and um lighter colored eyes and like kind of like olive tone, but like not really. I stood out with them. Like when I
Right, right,
post
right.
pictures, like I posted my Easter picture, and I'm very clearly not genetically linked to anyone in that picture. Very clearly, very clearly. But people would be like, "What are you?" And I'm like, "A human." Like, no, because you're clearly not white. That was
What
always the follow
question
up.
is
You're
that?
clearly not white. And I'm just sitting here going,
And
what?
so,
Like, what does that even mean? And it was probably my, I think maybe junior high. Like it was always explained to me that I was half white, half Mexican. And that like, but when you're a kid, you don't understand what that like, if you're
correct.
not immersed in that culture, you don't understand what that means.
Right.
And it wasn't until I was like in junior high and people started pointing out, you don't look like your mom. You like, what are you? You don't look like your dad. What are you? What are you? And like high school, what are you? What are you? And it's just like,
Right.
of course, I clap back human. What
Oh,
are
what are
you?
you?
What are
Exactly.
you?
What are you?
So I feel like the better way to ask that question. And this is for anybody, not even just adoptees, but anyone, you know, oh my gosh, what's your ethnicity?
Yes. Don't even ask where do you come from, because I feel like that's
Oh God,
just
that
as
makes me ill too.
yeah. I think that goes along with exactly what you're saying. Like, what are you and where do
Mhm.
you come from? Earth?
Oh my God. Someone asked me where are you from? I said Florida. Like, no, where are you really from? Florida. No, like for
I
real,
w-
where are you from? Bro, I don't know how else to answer this question other than to tell you I am from Florida. No,
no.
seriously, where are you from?
Ew.
Like,
Ew.
so
I
yeah,
can't.
don't ask that
Ew.
either.
Ew. I'm
That's
trying to
not
think of
what's your ethnicity? That's a just nicer way to put that. What's your ethnicity?
it's so true though. I'm trying to think of oh, this is one I should look and see because I say we've covered a lot of the basics that have like
Hmm.
that I have had. I'm trying to think because yeah, you did real parents, we did Costa. Yes, I'm cheating and I'm looking at some of my yeah, see the same kind of things. My most common are like, where are your real parents? How much did you cost? And what was the
Hmm.
last one? What was the one I just told you
What
before?
are you?
Yeah, like yeah. And then yeah, it was oh, what was the
They didn't
yeah.
want you. Do you feel
Yes,
like
that
were you
one. That one.
abandoned?
Yeah, those
It's
kinds of
just
things.
gross.
It
It's just
is. I
gross.
just
It's I think it's one of those things of it's I really like what Ben said a couple of episodes back, go into it with grace and show them grace. But when they double down and
right,
keep asking the question, it's kind of like
right.
Jesus, take the wheel because I cannot drive this bus anymore because I'm about to run him over.
It's
Like
so true.
yeah, and it's one of those like it's okay to be curious. I mean, I tell people all the time, ask me all the questions in the world. I'll open book,
Right.
but be respectful. Be
Yeah.
respectful of it. If I tell you it's bio mom and bio dad, don't call them mom and dad. That's not who they are. My mom and dad raised me.
Right.
And then like I mean, it's just it goes to the two things that you need to remember when you're talking to an adoptee or even adoptive parents or bio parents or whomever, really anybody in general. Really, you know what? Anytime you're going into a conversation, be respectful
It's true.
and listen to understand. Don't
Yep.
listen to respond.
Exactly. I love it. No, I love it. I love it so much. I'm trying to think of any other ones. I can't think off the top of my head because like those are the most common ones. What about you? Any other ones that you can think of? I know you get probably a lot more on TikTok. I'm trying to look
Oh God,
over.
TikTok, they just like to double down. They just like to double down and tell you that like I why they give you up. That's
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah. No. No. Well, and then there's more too. Like
Like just the verbiage is icky.
And another one that we go off is like, I don't know that I've ever had this said to me, but I know, well, actually, I have. Like, blood doesn't make you family, which I think is weird. Like, blood needs to be with blood. And I know we've talked about that a lot too. Like, people actually saying that, which I just don't understand. It's like, you don't have to look like each other. You don't have to
Well,
look
like,
like each other to be family.
and you don't have to be blood related.
Right.
Like this whole entire like part of the we talked about this last week. Part of the was it
Yeah. 2 weeks
not
ago, because
last
we
week.
talked to
Oh
Jill
my
last
God,
week, but
two
yeah.
weeks ago. Two weeks ago. Whenever the episode, the anti-adoption trend episode, whenever that launched, y'all know I can't keep up with nothing. Y'all
Which
know
is
I can't.
awesome.
And
That means we're like getting a lot of
that
episodes in,
means we
so
have
that's
a lot of
awesome.
content going. We
Yes.
have a lot of things going. So, but the episode that we talked about with the anti-adoption trend, I actually came across that same gentleman
Okay.
doing another live. And
Uh-huh.
I noticed that one of his biggest things is that even though he's like, oh, I have a great adoption story, I love adoption, but he's anti-adoption agency industry, which makes no sense to me. Anyway, he kept saying, preserve the family, preserve the like. That's all he would say. He would say they should go to a relative and then move on to the next question. It wasn't a lot of expansion,
Yeah, very
and I'm with you. Blood doesn't isn't always the best solution.
mm-mm. No, I
Like
know a lot of
it's just
people
not.
No, and we've talked about this too, so I won't go harp on it too much, but
Mhm,
like the kinship care stuff, which there can be great stuff with kinship care. Don't get me
mhm.
wrong, but sometimes families are so incredibly toxic that you need to get out of there. And I mean, I
Dude,
guarantee
break
you
the
we've had
cycle.
foster stories on. You know what I mean? I think we have had a couple foster stories on where being with their
Mhm.
family just was not just not a good option,
It
and
just was
that's
not it.
okay. And it's like, I mean, you're gonna heal now that I mean, this is an episode, but you guys are gonna I can't even talk. Hear Jill's
Jill?
story. And once you hear, oh my, once you hear her story, you're gonna realize too, like age doesn't matter, race doesn't matter, nothing matters. Like her story is beautiful and incredible. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that episode because I know it's like a
Mhm.
couple before
Please go
this
back and
one.
listen to that episode.
It's a really, really good one. So that's what I'm saying is like, and she even says that too on the episode. If you listen, she completely says it doesn't matter that I'm white and he's black. Like it doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't. Yeah, it
It
just
does
doesn't matter.
not.
You know.
It doesn't, because it doesn't matter. It's one of those things where like, and there's somebody out there that's going to be like, why are you dismissing race and why are you dismissing? We're not doing that. We're not dismissing anything.
No.
We're not doing that at all. What we're saying is to deny that somebody is capable of loving a child because they're a
Yes.
different race is absolutely asinine, and
Yes.
it's ridiculous.
Yes.
It is the most ridiculous thing on the planet.
Hmm.
Like it, we'll leave it at that.
No. No. I totally agree. I totally agree on that one. Any other ones that you can think of?
There was actually one that I saw on one of your reels on Instagram here recently about the oh God, how did you say it? It was so well put that it's I could never love an adopted child as my own, or
Yes.
that
I've heard that
like
way too many, not like to me
yeah,
directly, but when I've talked to people about adoption, they're like, well, I couldn't do it because I couldn't love them like my own. How the hell do you know? Unless you try.
or the I want to have my own first.
Yes.
Like I get it that if there's some people out there, I think I've said it before, like there's some people out there
Agreed.
who just like want to be pregnant. I get that. I
Agreed.
personally don't understand it, but I mean I respect your feelings behind it. I get it.
No.
But when you say we just being cognizant of it, when you say I want to have children of my own before I
Mhm.
adopt, that's like saying that your children that you're adopting are not going to be your own when they are going to be
Right.
your own. You're welcoming them
Right.
into your family. Now, if you say that, oh gosh, I just really want to be pregnant, say that. Just own it. It's 2022. Women are talking about that like left and right, like to the point that like I'm going, I don't want to hear all this. But respectfully, I will listen to you because that's what you want to share. That's fine. So just
Yeah.
be a little more mindful when you say that.
Yes.
That's just me.
Yeah. No. No. And I love it because I just think it's so weird. It's like you have people that come into your life that aren't even family and become the best of friends and you can love them. So what's the difference with
Yeah.
like bringing somebody into your family?
Oh yeah.
That's just me though.
Like there's a family in my church that flat out says that I'm theirs.
Yes. Is it the one with the twins that you talked about that one time?
That is another yes. Like
Well, yeah, no,
I'm
but look
there
at all these families.
like it's that family, and then there's another family who I was sitting like it's like I have these like two families that I've just gotten really close with, and like I'm theirs. Like I'm part, like they love me like their own, like I'm their family and they are my
Yeah.
family. Like
Yeah.
and it's
I love
funny
that.
because I always joke that like, I'm not a mom, but I told you like apparently I have kids at church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one of the twins is I'm his church mom. Like that's and I could not love him anymore if he was like genetically linked to me. Like
I
like
think
it's
I told
just
you before.
it's
Like, there's no right or wrong way to be a mom. Like, there's no right
hmm.
or wrong way to be a mom. And so I think that's awesome.
Well, and
Like,
it's just one of those things of pregnancy does not determine whether or not you're a mother.
yes, amen. Thank you.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Now, you taking in a child to raise them
Yes.
will determine if you're a mother or not.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are just some women out there who cannot have children or are choosing to not be pregnant. So I don't think any of those women are any less mothers
Right.
than the woman who had six children, who birthed
Agreed.
six children. That just
Agreed. No, I
oh,
love that.
that's another one. That's another one. You don't want to have your own kids? Oh, they are their own kids. It's one of those things of now 80% of those people, I'm gonna bump it up. 80% of those people, I think, who say that think they're asking the right question.
Right. Right.
But that's such a sensitive topic. And this goes back to it's 2022. People are talking about this left and right, but it's still 2022. You have to be careful the way you ask questions.
Right.
Because somebody can go, oh my God, I'm triggered, and lose their minds.
Sorry, I'm dying in the face.
Side note,
So
I need to
true.
send you a video of John Christ doing a comedy routine where he talks about
It's
Gen
so
Z being
funny.
triggered.
Yes, please, will you?
I
You
need
need
to send
to.
that to you, like, because he says it just like that, and every time someone says the word triggered, in my brain pictures that, and it takes everything in me to not laugh.
Well,
And I
you
try
just
to be
talked about it.
respectful.
Yeah, I think a couple
It's
episodes you just talked about it too, how some guy was saying that, oh, that triggers you. Like when you're having a
and
conversation with them, I remember that.
I'm over
But
here like, no.
yeah, seriously. No, there's
It's yeah, there's just way to say things, I think.
exactly. And same with like, okay, and I know for intensive purposes, like we say adoptee, adoptive parent, birth parent, but
Mhm.
like yeah, if you guys have been here long enough and you know both of us, we don't like adoptive parent when you're questioning our
Uh-uh.
parents. Our parents are our parents. Like people say
Mhm.
that so people know the lingo, but that's not how I identify with my parents. It's not like, oh, and my
Mm-mm.
adoptive. I don't even do that when I'm addressing stuff like on stories or reels or anything like that, because that to me is just
Yeah.
weird ass. And people are like, well, I
So
want the
strange.
verbiage right. Like, no,
I
it's
know,
birth
and
parents
that's
and the
like
parents. Weird.
exactly, and that's the thing, and that it goes back to the everyone's different, but
Oh no,
you and
internet.
I line up on that.
Yeah. You're good.
Internet, no, wait, huh? Yeah,
No,
I was
you're
gonna say
good.
you
You're
and I
good.
line
It
up on
froze, but
that.
I no, we do 100% because I just think
We
it's weird.
100% line up on that because it is weird. Like, that's my dad. They don't need
Exactly.
extra adjectives in there. It's
What?
crazy.
Agreed. Agreed. 100% agreed.
But
Yeah. I don't know.
what do we know? We just live it. But that goes back to the whole entire thing of what we always say. Everybody's different. So if you're genuinely, it goes back to what we originally said in the beginning of this episode. If you
Yeah.
generally are curious, go into it with an open mind, be respectful. Even you can even let them know, I'm not sure how to ask this. So I'm going to ask it the best way I know how.
Yes.
Lead
Amen.
with that. I mean, just
Yes.
tell them you're communicating with them. And if it feels like it's, I mean, and I know there's some people out there who be like, that's extra words, that's more work, that's more this, that's more that. Then you know what? You're not really ready to hear somebody's story.
Exactly. 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 Yeah. I'm
I
trying
mean,
to,
because
I'm,
when somebody is trusting you with their story, that means that it's their turn, like you're taking the time that you want to learn about them.
mm-hmm.
And what they're about to share with you is something that's very intimate to them. Like, because adoption stories are intimate, like they really are.
Yes. Agreed. 100%. Yeah. No.
Dang, I'm sounding smart this time.
No. You always sound smart. Stop it.
And
Uh,
I say, don't let anyone else know that. I have
I
a
would
good thing
no.
going over
Stop it.
here. People think I'm kind of dumb, and I love that because I like to shock them.
Exactly. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that like uh,
Oh,
one thing I
I
have
do
got.
love
Oh no.
this. Oh no, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go. I'll keep it in
Oh,
my
no, I was gonna say I actually got asked a really good question today. It was really good, and it wasn't even like it was how old were you when you were adopted? Such a simple question and worded so perfectly.
yeah, not rude, not
Like
anything. Yeah.
not rude, not anything. It's such a perfect
Mm-mm.
question. And I was like, huh, 3 days,
Yeah.
3 days old, huh? For that. And then
3
they double
days.
down and like, ask me other stuff that was like, oh, it's like
Oh,
you were
of
doing so
course.
good.
Of course, right? Of course. People like to do that. Uh,
Yeah, go
just
for it.
had it pulled up. No, you're good. There was one I was just gonna touch on a little bit. Uh
Yes, please.
oh, One thing I've gotten was now that you know your birth family, do you wish you would have stayed with them because your life could have been better if you would have stayed with them?
What?
Yeah.
I'm
Now
sorry.
that you
I said
know,
that with my chest.
no,
What?
so like just now that they know, like they've heard my story and they know that I know my birth family and that my birth family like is really they really are awesome and amazing, even though they're in Colombia. People are like, well, wouldn't it have been better if you would have stayed with them? Or the other thing that kind of pisses me off too is like, aren't you so glad you're not with them anymore? Like it goes both ways. It's like that's douchey no matter how you say it. Like, don't tell me that I should feel a certain way because I am adopted or because I was placed or that I should be like, oh, I need to be with them or oh, I should feel guilty because I'm not with them. That's what really irks me. It's like you don't get to
Yeah,
tell
I was
me.
gonna say the only person that can actually like say that or make jokes about that or like about any like I don't know, it's you. No one else can do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there are just certain things like you can say and no
Yeah.
one else can because I've joked. I'm not even gonna lie. I joked today. I joked today that it was like when it came to my adoption and everything because like it just the way things are. And I've that God went, nope, not this one. And just moved me like I was like a little figurine. Like God went, we're gonna put this one over here, like a joke, like to me because God knew that my family needed me with them
But
instead
I
of
don't
me
even think that's
staying
like
where I was.
a joke.
It's not bad. It's not.
Yeah. I don't think
It's
it's
I don't know.
bad.
The way I do it is hysterical. Like I can't do it. Like you can't see like the whole do thing, but it's just, it's pretty funny. But it's because I'm funny and I'm hilarious and things like that.
I love it.
But it's kind of one of those things where I can say that because it's my adoption.
Correct.
It's like
Correct.
you can say what you want about your adoption. No one else has the right to say, like,
Yeah.
don't you
Yeah.
feel so lucky?
But it goes back to just people's
Blessed is a better
lives.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You know, it goes
just don't.
you don't tell that to other people. Oh, aren't you so happy that this and this and this in their own lives if they're with their like who says that? Like, oh, this,
That's
oh,
like
that. Oh, like, no.
that's like the people that look at a family of all boys and say, "Don't you wish you had a girl?"
Yes.
Or
Yes, it's
vice
exactly
versa.
like that. Thank you.
Are you going
Yes.
to try for a girl? Like
Yes. When are you gonna
it's
have babies? You guys been
honestly,
married for 5 years, kind of like Ben and
oh my
Shelby
gosh,
with that whole
that's
thing. And if you don't know their story, go listen to that one too, because they
oh my gosh,
are amazing.
yes,
I love them. I can't wait to hear more news on that.
fantastic. I like, but I mean, that goes back to like, it's okay. Some people are going to feel some kind of way about what I'm about to say, but like, it is what it is. There's no way to say it. Get out of other people's uteruses. It's not nice.
Amen.
Get out. There's
Amen.
just get out. Like, if you want to ask, like, you don't know what that person is going through. You don't know what that person
Right.
has gone through. You don't know what that person is dealing with or anything like that.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
if you want to ask the question, let just be
Yeah.
proactive.
I
I
agree.
don't know how to ask this question. I'm so sorry
Yeah.
if I stumble on the words. Know that I'm trying to be respectful with this. I just would like to know, but also realize that they can tell you no.
Exactly. Exactly. And they have
They
every
can tell
right to.
you respectfully, I don't want to answer that question, or respectfully, I don't want to talk to you, or
Right.
however they want to put it.
Exactly.
No, I mean, like,
Yeah.
no one owes you an answer to your questions,
It's so
but you
true.
should still be respectful with your questions.
Agreed.
Ooh,
Look at
that
you.
was good. Look at
That's a
me.
quote.
Hmm.
Boom. Right there. I'll find that back
Boom, boom,
again,
boom.
sucker, and quote that for
Boom,
this
boom,
episode.
boom. Ooh,
No, I
man,
love it.
wrapping Christmas gifts has got me on a roll lately.
There you go. I know. No, you really do have some amazing words of wisdom. I love going back over episodes and listening. Anyway, though, I'm not going to start going on tangent because we'll start talking about a whole bunch of other stuff.
I know, right? What
Any
about you?
other?
I know you probably have one more. You have to have one more in
I'm
you.
trying to
I know
think
you
because
get hit
that's
up on
like
Instagram so much and you've had reels going.
the one. Um, hang on. I don't. Okay, I don't know if this is really like adoption lingo, but I get real annoyed when people attack my birth mom without even knowing any of her background. Like, why are you going to attack
Yes.
somebody's identity when you don't know anything and you don't know the intent of her heart? You know what I mean? Like, and even if she was a scummy person, Like, respect that I've made peace with that and respect that I'm in the place that I am now. But
Mhm.
don't, you know what I mean? I hate that. That's my biggest thing. And the couple reels I have had gone viral, it does kind of talk about her and how I was the one of 7 placed. And the
Mhm.
comments that have come off that, I just
People are
can't
awful,
even, like,
awful.
about her. Just so degrading about her. And it's like, show me your life and show me how perfect your life is. Please. Please.
Yeah,
Please.
you can always tell when Audacity is on sale when
Yeah.
you go in your comment section and there's things like that.
Oh, it's so
Because
true.
the things that people will say on social media blow my mind.
So true.
Like, for them to attack your birth mom when they don't know anything, they don't know anything about her. Again, it goes back to you don't know their life, you don't know anything about them, you don't
Correct.
know what they've been through.
Correct. Correct.
Like, and you know what? So what
Yeah.
if they were not in a good place? They made a good
Exactly.
decision.
Right.
They
They
made
did
a
what they thought
decent
was best for
decision.
them. And it's not your place to decide what they think is best for them, you know?
Absolutely not. And like that goes back to the whole entire thing of don't be a keyboard warrior.
Hmm. Yeah. Keyboard warriors suck. Oh no.
Just
Delancey
be
froze.
respectful. Just because you think it doesn't mean you should type it out. And it doesn't
Yes.
mean you should screenshot it.
I agree.
Okay, good. I'm gonna say that also doesn't mean that you should screenshot it or send it
Yeah.
in your little group text and talk crap about. We know when you do that. And if we don't know, God knows.
I like how you whisper.
That's I mean, like, it's true. It's true. Because somebody in your little friend group is going to get mad at you and then they're going to spill all the tea.
It's so true. That's so true. One of my favorite
That's why I'm
things,
not in group
thanks to
text.
you, is with Joey Swole now, like the way he responds to people that are total jerks to him. It's love,
I
man.
love
He
him.
doesn't come back nasty at all. He just comes
Mm-mm.
back with love. Like, and he says
Mm-hmm.
that directly to their faces. Like, he won't clap back or anything. He will like put them straight with like, I never said this, I never did that. And I
Mm-hmm.
just hope nothing but abundance and love in your life. I'm like, damn, son, because I think that hurts people way more than when
Oh,
you're like,
100%
oh,
more.
I
And
love
it
him.
goes back to the even when he's correcting them, he's like, you do not do this. He's like, you're in a public gym. Like, at what point in time did people decide, like, you and me, we're pretty strong, independent women. At what point in time did somebody decide to look at us and say that when we're correcting somebody else's behavior, like someone else's verbiage, you're being argumentative, you're being bitchy? No, it's called I'm being assertive and I'm
Exactly.
letting you know.
Yeah,
Like, I'm letting you know what you're doing is not okay.
exactly.
And you being defensive about it says more about you than it does me.
It's so
But
true.
that's where, like, Joey Swole, I love him. And if you don't follow him, you need to.
It's
Just
so true.
saying. The way just seeing how he approaches things and how he, like you said, how he corrects things, how he relays his information, he stays assertive.
Yeah.
He points out the negative behavior. He points out how to correct it. And then he talks about how we should create a positive environment. We should show love to everybody. This is what we're here on this earth to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
people will look at him and judge him
Yeah.
so hard.
It's so true. But they don't know.
So,
But that's the thing. It's like you said, they see just one reel and they don't know his
mhm,
background. They don't know
mhm,
everything that this man has done to overcome his addiction and everything that
mhm,
he had. Like, if you look at it
mhm.
to what he is now, he fought for that. He fought for that. He worked hard for
Fought for
that.
every bit of it,
Yes. So I'm like, that's
every
where
bit of
people
it.
judge what they see, but then they don't, oh, maybe I can relate to this
Mhm,
person because they have gone through terrible
exactly.
things. Like, so dumb. And
Exactly. And that's where it comes into every single thing. Like, that's why you need to be careful with what you say.
yeah.
Now, I'm not saying like you should edit yourself. Like, don't do that. Like, you
Right,
still have
right,
free speech.
right,
You still have freedom of speech. You are allowed
right.
as a human being in this lovely country of America. You're allowed to
Yes,
say honestly whatever comes to your mind and just wants to pop out of your mouth. You're allowed
exactly.
to do that.
Yeah. Oh no, internet.
However, there are consequences. Just because you have freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences.
Yes,
So not everybody has done the work to
yeah,
show grace.
exactly.
So just be mindful. Just be mindful. Just do your best to be respectful and let people know you're trying to be respectful.
I
That's yeah.
love that. No, I love that. Anything else? I think that's like, I love that.
I think
Anything
that's
else on that topic?
fantastic. I love that
I
you
do
brought
too.
Joey Swole into it. I
Well,
love
because it
him.
totally correlates with it. He
He
really
does.
does. Like it totally
He
does.
does. I
So
love
I love it.
him.
Okay. Okay. No, I think this one was good because like I know we've talked about it bits and pieces on episodes before, but I love that we actually went really into depth on it and
Dedicated
stuff.
to it. Yeah. This was nice. This was good. This
It's
was
really
good
good.
stuff.
So yeah, anyway. Okay, is that it? Anything else? Any words
That's
of
it.
wisdom? Okay. All right. As always, thanks for
Yes.
being here, guys. Thanks for supporting us. Truly, thank you for supporting us. We'll have to share
A
stuff
hundred
later.
percent. Thank you.
We'll have to share stuff later, maybe on one of our later episodes of stuff that like from our whole podcast thing that I already shared everything with Delancey, but like seriously, we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So thank you.
Would
Hope your
not.
holidays are
Thank
amazing and wonderful whenever this comes out. I don't know when. Anyway, okay.
you.
Have a good night.